changed my mind. I gotta have a glove. We haven't even come that far. It's just these early mornings were so cold. I can't wake my lungs up. Just gasping. I think it goes up there, so we still got a bit of a climb. Pretty short, but for now, though. I'm just gonna stop till I haven't done this trail in about 3 years. Brought Noah out here. I was doing all these clip shots of him, try to make a compilation video of our trip out here. And this is when he just turns around smiling and goes, boring. And we've been quoting that in our house ever since. He's such a little smart aleck. It's beautiful out here. This should be it for the upper view. Now we start descending and making our loop. The interior of this hike's just as cool. A lot of good rock formations. Create shade in some spots, which was really nice when we were here in April. All this experience hiking and I still don't know how to step over rocks. Remember one time my sister and brother-in-law joined me and Michael, a couple of my friends, in Yellowstone for a backcountry hike. And Autumn was like, she said she wasn't like a huge fan of hiking because you don't get to enjoy the view as much because you're kind of watching your feet the whole time. It's like one of those one-off comments that get stuck in your head for years. She might not even still think that. But I remember telling her, like, it gets better. Like, the more you do it, the more you're not watching your feet. Because you are watching the views. And I think I made that abundantly clear with how often I trip in my videos. So you really only need to pay attention to your feet a bit when you're near cliffs and stuff. I actually think eastern hikes in the Appalachia and stuff, where you have just constant roots, that's where I find myself staring at my feet a lot. But most of the time, if it's just rocks or a combination, I watch my feet a good bit with scree. It's a bit like driving. If you're doing a scenic highway, like you have to watch the road and other cars, but you're still getting a view too. This is such a peaceful hike. There's no one out here. One car pulled in after me. If they're going clockwise, we might run into them, but even when Noah and I did it in April, I think we only saw like 2 people. I don't know what these videos are turning into. I'm starting to just take videos of the majority of the hike. I almost feel like I should have like a long one for the people that want to watch pretty much everything I shot and talked about, and then a short one of like, this was to me the best, 5-10 minute section of that hike. because I want the record. And it's good background TV. And my parents in particular seem to be watching all of them and not, like, they actually enjoy when they're long and they get the full experience. So that's incentive to keep it up. But sometimes there's a small section where I actually would like a lot of people to see, even the people that don't traditionally watch, like Noah or Autumn, and people that might be more selective with the ones they watch. The Slot Canyon I did the other day, I have a ton of video of it. It's like maybe an hour's worth of video, maybe longer. And so I might post all of that, but there's also a good 10-minute stretch where I'm like, this is one of my favorite videos I've done. It's very different than what I'm used to. It just looks awesome. So I feel like those should be 2 separate posts, even if the same footage gets used in both. Not saying anything, just talking to myself out here in the wild. Really enjoying the steady descent. It's gotten warm enough we can take the gloves off. You know when someone tries to tell a joke and they haven't told that joke enough or in a long time, and so they butcher it, they like forget the details and they tell it out of order, and they tell the punchline early. I'm trying to get back in the habit. I used to tell stories all the time, and then I went hardcore isolation mode and didn't talk to humans for a very long time. And I guess that's kind of true still, given where I am and stuff, but I'm trying to get better at telling stories that I used to tell. But when I tell them, I'm so out of practice. I don't remember the details, and like I start finding the story in my head as I'm telling it. I'm like, that doesn't feel right, and I'm forgetting this whole section, and this story isn't as entertaining or as flattering as I remember it. So I think there's a lot of footage of me so far telling stories that way. Like the one I was just telling about Havusa Falls and Grand Canyon. I'm almost definitely going to edit out for that reason. Just could not get any traction on that story. But I need to practice. I do remember that one being interesting. It was a strong memory for a long time. Well, now I can barely remember it enough to recall it verbally. that's why a lot of those, if you know storytellers in your life, you'll notice they'll start, adding little bits to their story, a flair for the dramatic, and they'll change pieces, or they'll tell the same story over and over and over again. And it's like, that can be annoying sometimes. Like, you've told this story so many times, but that's what allows them to tell stories in the first place. It's like so many things in life. It's something you have to practice. And the way our brains and memories work, every time we revisit a memory or a story, it gets tweaked just the tiniest bit. And it's kind of like super speed evolution, because you can watch these memories and stories evolve for people. It's kind of harder to witness if you're like the one doing it. It's kind of like if you see your own kid growing up, and it's so gradual. But if someone comes and they haven't seen your kid in 5 years, they've sprouted up. And it's interesting watching people do that with stories and memories. If you revisit them and it's been several years since you heard this story that you remember so well, one of you has rewritten it by that point. And some people rewrite theirs a lot faster than others. But if you love the people you're around, it really doesn't matter. You just enjoy the swapping of stories regardless of the changes they undergo. I remember this section well. Taking the gloves off now that we're in the shade again, I can admit freely, it was a terrible choice. I think Noah and I wandered to the end of this canyon. Speaking of false memories, I have two equally strong memories that Noah and I wandered down that canyon, but also that he was bored and we did the loop and went back to the car. I have to ask him what he thinks. We're going to stop this one soon. It's time to put gloves back on. One thing I do know for sure, if we did it, I put it in my Excel spreadsheet, so we'll be able to check. Alright, this part's very pretty.